That'd be cool. Hey, Sam, thanks for coming on here.
Good time.
Hey, just wanted to know about the format for the game, how the rosters might be split, how vanilla might you be? Will you blitz it and all that kind of stuff? How will it look?
We are going to split the teams. One offense, they will be with the two defense and some others. And then the red team would be the offense, white team will be the defense. No, that's wrong. The red team's going to be the one defense and the two offense. And the white's going to be the one offense and the two defense. And basically, we're going to have a running clock. We'll kick off. We won't go live on special teams, but we'll kick off, do everything punt necessary. We'll have a running clock until the 2-minute point of the half and at the end of the game. And then the clock will just go to normal. We anticipate somewhere around 55 plays, 50 to 55 plays on both sides of the ball, not counting special teams, and around a 2-hour spring. But I don't know how we're going to continue to get better if we don't go good on good. So we're going to go ones versus ones.
Okay. And then you wanted to come into the spring and be a more physical run team. Do you think you're getting to that point? And how would you evaluate the gains you've made?
I do. I think we've made nice strides in the run game, and part of that's the backs are playing better. Rocket Sanders is a nice addition for us. Has done a nice job. Our line's much bigger. Understands our offense much better. So we have made some physical strides on the offensive line and in the running game. A lot of that has to do with the wide receivers blocking as well.
Trey.
Hey, Coach. I was just curious about your thoughts on the quarterback play to this point. What are you looking out of those guys in the spring game?
Well, I've been hard on the quarterbacks. I know that. The expectations are high for them, however, and they're fine with that. I don't know how you really rate a quarterback, Trey, that when you're in a run-type run-and-throw offense with the quarterback, he's another running back for you. In the spring, if you get close to him, the ball's down and things of that nature. A lot of times guys break a tackle, break an arm tackle, do some things, and it does wonders for their confidence, and then they become a little more accurate throwing the ball and all that, because your mind's very powerful and controls a lot of that. Over the last 4 practices, I felt like KJ's accuracy has been much better. Part of that is the protection has been better. Part of it's the route's been running better. But he's done a good job. Malik is pulling the ball down and running the football when things aren't there a little bit more than sitting in the pocket. So I think we've grown. We're not where we need to be yet, but I think we've grown, and I think we're going to have a good quarterback room by the time August rolls around.
Is there anybody specifically that maybe has surprised you that you didn't expect what you got out of them this spring?
Yeah, good question. Torian Carter's had a really good spring, along with Zach Williams at 265 now. The D line has surprised me. I think they're playing better ball than possibly what I might think. Young guy. Pooh Paul's come in and learned the offense, done a really nice job. And Jaden Johnson there at safety has surprised me with his ability to learn the defense and get where he's supposed to be, and with the physicality that he's playing with. Really, those are the guys that that come off of my head just quickly when you ask that question.
Thanks.
Well, Simeon Blair, we knew he was a player, but he's played really well. So that's been surprising it to obviously his leadership and physicality.
Thanks, Coach.
Nate?
Well, since this is the last time you'll see him in pads until August, just how big a influence does this game have on kind of your summer depth chart as far as since it's the last time you evaluate them?
I don't really know, how far this game will go. In other words, is it a 20% of spring ball? Do you put that much weight on it? Probably not. We are interested on seeing who plays a little bit better when there's people in the stands. Certainly we've tried to do that partially with our scrimmages, but I think, we'll see some things that we want to see and things that we don't on Saturday. But I don't know that it's going to weigh a whole lot more than what a normal padded practice would for us.
And as far as availability, is there anybody that, you're counting on earlier in the week that won't be able to play this weekend?
There's some guys that we're not quite sure. I don't know if Dalton Wagner's going to be healthy enough to play. He's starting at right tackle for us. I don't know if he'll be healthy enough. Tykees Crawford is another one there on the O-line that won't be able to play. Kyrie Johnson's got an ankle that possibly won't. Tyson Morris won't be able to play. Hayden Henry, we're going to hold him just like we have in every scrimmage that we've had. And then probably up in the air still is Jashad Stewart and Isaiah Nichols. I don't know that they'll play. If they do, it won't be any significant amount of reps. And by the way, that's a good time to ask about injuries in the spring, because in the fall, the answer will be crickets.
Thanks.
Dudley.
Obviously, if things go right, the NCAA Council is going to approve recruiting on campus to get started back up. How exciting and how important is that going to be if that is the case?
Very important. If you really look, it's very exciting. You look at last year and these guys making college decisions and never had an opportunity to step foot on campus for the most part is, if you really think about it, it's kind of crazy. But it was what it was. And I thought the NCAA did a nice job with allowing kids to, come on their own and see some, at least see the area, the downtown, things of that nature. Dormitories, whatever it might be. But, I love the setup of how the NCAA has, your 5 officials and things of that nature. These kids deserve, they've earned the scholarships. They deserve the right to go visit as many schools as they are interested in. And at the end of the day, be able to make an educated decision on where they want to spend their time. So very excited about it. We know June's going to be crazy. But if you really look back on it, Dudley, every June's crazy, so there might be a few more. Your days are still, I think, June 1 through June, how many days? 30. It'll be a little less than that, the 27th or whatever it may be. Days will be the same, there'll just be more people.
Are you also going to get to have camps and stuff?
Sir?
Get to have camps and stuff?
As of right now, I don't know if they're voting on that today and tomorrow, but from what we understand, if everything passes that's going that direction, then basically our June will get back to the old calendar.
Thanks.
Ralph.
Hey, Sam. Ralph from the Associated Press. Thanks for letting me get a couple of questions in today.
Great.
We were just talking about the vote on the dead period. The other big thing that's coming up this weekend, you've all been expecting it for a while, is the vote on the transfers and how basically everybody's going to be eligible to, immediately eligible. As you sort of look into this new world of transfers and players moving a little more freely, how have you planned to, maybe change your program a little bit? Any differences in the way you're going to look at building your roster, knowing that
the basketball coach that, is really using the transfer portal to Arkansas's advantage. For me, it's more of a pick and play, what it would be a very source of need. and we would need to know the guy. And I really would like him to have played so we can see game tape on him, like a Felipe Franks. I was fortunate to have played against him there at Georgia when he was at Florida, and I was able to see him not only on tape, but see his mannerisms on and off the field. I do think that it's going to pass, and I do think, it could be very good for the kids. I know we all sit here and say, well, if you make a decision, we're teaching these kids that quitting or leaving or moving is okay and all that. But, if you look at it in the coaching world, coaches are able to go take different jobs, and they do. And, that was one of the biggest things about leaving Georgia. The signing date was probably 10 days away, maybe 14 days away. And we had 5 offensive linemen committed, and I had the right to come to Arkansas and be the head coach. And so I think it's headed in the right direction. I think the one-time transfer is the key there, though. I don't think it's let's transfer once a year. It's a one-time transfer, and at some point you got to stick and make it happen and make it work for you.
Hayden.
Hey, Coach, kind of staying on those same lines, obviously a lot of, with us down here in Little Rock, a lot of talk about the House Bill 1671 that's been talked about, the image, name, and likeness. Just your thoughts on that. And I know Hunter's come down and kind of described this in support of this. And just we've heard your thoughts before, but just sort of over the developments over the last few days.
Well, a long time ago, you couldn't, somebody bought you a meal and you were NCAA. Well, it's going to still be that way a little bit on name, image, and likeness. But, before, you can be a regular student on campus and invent something, and you can get all the money and the accolades and everything from it. If you're an NCAA football player and you did that in the past, you get zero. So I think basically it's going to give our kids now. It's going to be up to the integrity of coaches, I think, and the integrity of coaching staffs on what they're telling these kids. Not everybody's going to get a car dealership promotion and get the money from it. So I think it's going to be a big integrity question of the coaches in the NCAA, and we've got fine coaches, so I don't see that being a big problem. But the kids, if they can get money off of their name, image, and likeness, I'm certainly all for that.
Thank you, sir.
Clay.
Coach Pittman, just kind of big picture, when you were hired, one of the things that you really emphasized was the toughness of your team and how you wanted to grow that. And we saw evidence of that last season. I'm just curious to where y'all are and where you thought you'd be, and maybe some individuals that you say, these are tough suckers on my team.
All right, I'm going to get to that. Let me add to that last question. Any monies from name, image, and likeness is not going to come through the university. That's going to come from outside sources. So it's not like the university has to raise money for name, image, and likeness. That's coming from outside the university. I want to make that clear. Yeah, I think you guys have been to a lot of practices. I would hope that you would think they are physical and fast and demanding and things of that nature. What a tough football team would be like. Let me say this: we don't have guys fall down on the ground and they stay down there for 5 or 6 hours. They're getting back up and they're coming back and playing and things of that nature. So, there were times here when we've had a lot of people on the sidelines that you question, or toughness. We don't have that anymore, and I'm very proud of that. Tough guys. We have so many that I'd really rather not single them out, but I think we're tough in the O-line. I think we're tough in the secondary. You know what? I think we're pretty tough. I don't know if we're tough at quarterback or not. We haven't hit them all spring, but the rest of places, I don't know how tough our punters are either, but the rest of them pretty tough.
Thanks.
Nikki.
Yeah, Coach, I've noticed a lot of, rotation between Hayden Henry, Grant Morgan, and Bumper Pool. How much of that is like there's a true competition there going on for a starting job versus you wanting, I guess, Hayden Henry to be able to play multiple positions and stuff?
No, it's a true competition. I don't know if we rolled out there for starters, Nikki, today. I'm not for sure which one of those two would be. And so they're having a healthy, good competition. Part of that too, I want to tell you, is some of it would be because, we're going to hold Hayden out of any tackling type situation. So, he didn't play in the 2 scrimmages, nor will he in the spring game. That was kind of something that he and I talked about in order to get him to come back, with this, he had some shoulder injuries and some things in the past that he felt like he needed to get healthy. So we certainly wanted him to do that. So part of it's that, but no, there's a real competition there between those two guys.
Hutch.
Sam, one of y'all's points of emphasis going into the spring was generating more of a pass rush. How would you assess y'all's progress has been in that area?
I love Coach Ashley. He's really done a nice job with these guys. I mean, you can talk to them about it, and I'm sure they'll tell you the same thing. We have gotten bigger. We've got a good strength and conditioning coach and coaches in there, but we've gotten better. We can actually get some rush in the 3-down line. Certainly, we're playing a little bit more 4-down line now than what we did last year, but I think we're going to be able to get to the quarterback without bringing linebackers. Certainly hope so. And, we still have some scholarships that we can push forward. So if there's some guys out there that can help us in generating a pass rush, that'd be the first place that we went to.
Otis.
Yeah, Sam, that was my question. I know you have some more scholarships for the class of 2021. That was my question, but you mentioned defensive line, pass rush guys, but is there another position that you might be interested in as well as that?
Probably not. Well, we might take a tight end, but I'd like to be able to get in 12 personnel, 2 tight ends on the field at the same time. But the bottom line is whomever we took, it would have to be a D lineman or somebody with the ball in his hand. I don't think we'd take an offensive lineman in the portal right now.
Okay. Thanks, Coach.
Scotty.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned Jashad Stewart, I think after the second scrimmage a couple weekends ago. Could you expand on what you saw from him this spring, what he does well and how he might help you guys in the fall?
He plays extremely hard. He's gotten bigger. He's still, we'd like for him to get, maybe another 10 to 12 pounds on. He's at 240 right now, 238, somewhere in there. I'd like to get him around 250. He plays with a tremendous amount of energy. Chases the ball, and you're going to get him every snap. I mean, you're going to get whatever he's got in there. That's what you're going to get every snap. And I don't believe you have to be a senior to lead. I think you got to beat somebody out, and then you become a leader. And that's what he's done. He beats them. He's moved up the depth chart, and he's made guys that are ahead of him and behind him play harder. And the bottom line is he just is relentless with his effort, and he's going to make a lot of plays. Just not the biggest, not all those things, but he is one hard-working, hard-playing guy. And it's unfortunate I don't know that we'll be able to see him on Saturday.
And then just on the offensive line, was there a guy that maybe made a push that maybe was a pleasant surprise?
Henderson will probably start for us on Saturday. don't know that would be the case if Dalton wasn't beat up a little, if Wags wasn't beat up a little bit. But I like the progression that Henderson and St. John have made. You know, the other guy, Ty Clary's had a good, nice spring too, but I'm talking about the younger guys where St. John, Henderson, and then I think Jones has improved quite a little bit. Luke has this offseason as well.
Got time for a few more. Bob?
Yeah, Sam, I saw one of your former guys up here, Bray Cook, got the head coaching job at P-Riz. Just sounds like he's on the track of a young Sam Pittman. Just wondering what you think about Bray getting that job.
Well, I hope he's on better track than I am or I was, but I'm really proud of him, proud for that he was able to get the head coaching job. I think he'll do an outstanding job. He's had several different employments, since he's been out of college. I certainly called a lot of different people for him when he was trying to interview for different jobs. So I'm proud of him. He'll do well. He knows how to treat people. He knows how to motivate. He knows football. So he'll do a really nice job.
Okay, thanks.
Tom?
It might be hard to tell if you're getting better in special teams when you're just going against yourself, but do you feel like you've made improvement, and who might be starters at different punter, kicker, returner?
We have improved. We work on it a lot. I can tell you that. We've worked a tremendous amount on it. We needed to. We needed to get better. Our kids give great effort on special teams, so I know we will. As far as the kicker, really don't have any idea who would be the starter coming into the fall. Punter would be the same. Returners would be the same. And I'm going to catch a little flack because they're going to say, well, you should know. Well, you know when you know. And whenever someone's definitely better than somebody else, well, then that's when I'll say that's who should be the guy. It's not like we're working nobody at any of those spots. We're working 3 guys at least at each one of those spots. And once we figure out who the best we have back there is whenever we'll roll them out there first.
And my last question, I haven't looked forward to see what the weather looks like Saturday, but just what do you anticipate from a crowd situation? You didn't even have a spring game last year. So I think opening up the scrimmages probably has gotten a lot of fans interested in your football program.
I hope so. I'm going to guess around 15,000 probably, hopefully, that will be here. And the weather's going to be just about perfect for football. From what I understand, it's going to be about 55 or 57, 58, somewhere in that area. And, I think I saw Steve on here. He'd probably know the weather better than me. But anyway, I think it's going to be a great day for football. I don't think there's much rain in there. And I think we've had 15,000 or close to 15,000 people say that they're coming, on the free ticket type deal. And so we're looking forward to having that many and plus some more if we can.
Clay?
Coach, you're an Oakland Park guy. So I want you to handicap your team. Who'd win at 6 furlongs? Who's a mile 70 guy? And who's a mutter?
Ooh, 6 furlongs is going to be probably Josh Oglesby. A little longer than that. I'm going to go with Burks. Traylon Burks, excuse me. And then long distance, man. I don't know, but Malik Hornsby might have a chance to win that 7 furlong race too. But let me look. Long distance, I'm going to go with I'm going to go 1 and 1A. They let you do that too. So I'm going to go with Brooks and Blair, and I'm going to put them as my 2 horses in that race.
So how did you do with your handicapping?
I bet. And then I think you're supposed to be able to take the ticket back and get money off of it, but I never really got too many of those opportunities.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Hutch.
Sam, you said that Henderson's probably going to start on Saturday at right tackle. If I remember right, last year you couldn't really move him to both sides, left and right. Is he getting more comfortable with that? Is things kind of slowing down for him in that regard?
Yeah, I thought we heard him last year, actually, Andrew. I think you and I might have talked about that. But I think that had to do with just age and not understanding football, the plays as much as what he does now. I've actually been impressed when he moved over to right tackle this year. Now, we didn't do that until, Wags got hurt a little bit. So, but he has made that adjustment a lot better than what he did last year. So I think he's maturing there. And to be honest with you, you need a swing tackle if you don't have two. And hopefully this is preparing him for next season to be the swing if he's not able to start for us.
Last one, Kyle.
It's funny Clay just brought up Oakland because that's what I was going to ask about. Were there any big winners, and who's the best dressed assistant coach?
Ooh. That's like having a derby party and giving out a prize for the best hat. That ain't good, So the best dress, there was a lot of them. There's a lot of good looking guys and they kind of had fun with it. I know who wasn't, that would be me, but there was a lot of good looking guys on our staff. They had a blast. And what was the other question? Oh, any big winners? I don't really know who won and who didn't. I know Coach Odom and Coach Browse hit an exacta there at the end. I think it was on the derby that they were seemed like they was awful happy about. So I don't know. I didn't ask them, but I know this, we had a blast.
All right. That'll wrap us up. We'll see a bunch of y'all on Saturday. We'll see a few of you